regular host, Nancy, and joining me is Jay.
Yay!
And Angelo.
I'm very happy to have you both here. Nancy, you've been here before, as has Angelo. You've both joined me for special episodes in the past in our 4-season history. So I'd really like to thank you for joining me today.
We've graduated from sporadic appearances to clawing our way into a regularity.
The stars of tomorrow.
We're important now.
We're important.
I had to find 2 people to replace Alfred.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that note, Alfred's gone, and we'll miss him. But
Yeah. Alfred's not gone from Otafest. He was just here. He was actually helping us out with some behind-the-scenes stuff.
He's a busy, busy man.
Yeah,
with
but
no time for podcasts.
No, only main stage and top Matt Mercer interviews.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But, you know, it was great having him around. I hope he joins us in for a few episodes every now and then. We've got a few things to announce about actually how the podcast is going to work. So, give you more content. We're actually releasing weekly Wednesdays. Haven't figured out the exact time yet. That'll come as logistics kind of sort themselves.
He means as we figure things out.
Yeah.
We can't guarantee you what time on Wednesday.
No.
But we
it
can
will be,
guarantee you that it's a Wednesday
it
somewhere.
Is on a Wednesday. Yes.
Every Wednesday, as long as the season's active. We'll also, alongside being on Google Music and Apple iTunes, you're going to find us on Spotify soon. So I hope you can enjoy those changes. And all we had to do was sacrifice Alfred for those changes. So.
We're great for listening to overnight shifts.
Indeed.
Yes, just listen to 1 minute every hour and you'll get the entire episode.
Yeah.
It'll last you the whole night.
The whole shift.
Also, we have some Otafest stuff. Obviously, it's been, 3 or 4 months since our last
Holy
episode.
heck.
We were starting a bunch of new Otafest things already for 2020, as well as lots of news coming along. At least I have Nancy here with me.
That's
on
me.
Extra Life.
Yep. So, we're coming back again this year for Extra Life 2019. Again, we'll be raising money for the Alberta Children's Hospital, and we'll be doing our usual 24-hour stream via Twitch, so come tune in on twitch.tv/Otafest and watch us play 24 hours of the randomized run of The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. As we did this last year, we'll be randomizing it differently this year, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a different random seed.
Right.
So we actually won't know anything from last year. Not that I remember anything from last year anyways.
Other than the fact that you fished forever.
No, I crashed the game.
You crashed the game. And then
Did you actually crash it or just soft lock it?
The save file was gone.
Yeah,
oh my god.
No, it was
Halfway
many
through
hours
the
of
game.
lost.
Jesus.
We
So
actually
I literally,
cried.
what I did was I had to, I literally put the emulation on 4 times speed, and I just my only goal in life was literally to speedrun all the way back to where I had crashed the game. So the remaining I took the midnight shift, so the remaining players had a chance to finish the game at least. But the goal originally was doing a randomized run and finishing it 100%, meaning we grab all the heart pieces, we get all the items, we do all the side questing.
Dear God.
Yeah.
But because I crashed it, there was no chance we were gonna make up that time,
That lost
unfortunately.
time.
So that's why I was I literally played through half the game as quick as I could.
Yeah. I remember being on second shift last year, and we hadn't gotten any weapons or very many items.
That was
at all.
so rough.
That whole you can't use magic goal that we reached. It was not a challenge. We had nothing.
Oh man.
Nothing at all. And it was a riot. It was a laugh riot. So I'm very excited to come back to
Correct
it again.
me if
this
I'm wrong.
year.
The way that the randomizer works is every item box or every reward you get that would be an item, it's just a randomized
It's
item.
random.
Yeah,
so
you could-
all of the shops were also randomized.
What are the
so
likelihood of even being able to complete the game?
So
Oh no,
there is-
it's all guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's a guaranteed completion. You can.
Okay.
there's
it's
a
guaranteed
map. There's a
possible.
logic map
Yeah.
where when you see it, you can turn it on and say this must be a completable game.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's an
So
option you can
it's-
tick in
yeah.
the seed.
But if you really want to watch the world burn, you could turn that off and see what happens and see
Yeah.
how far you get.
But I mean, it's
But-
really it's amazing when there's times where we've done some test runs just to make sure everything kind of works. There's been times where it's you beat or you go into a big old dungeon and you finally get to that big item box and you're like, sweet, I'm gonna get the fairy bow in here, and it's
You're like, no.
5 rupees.
Yay!
And you're like,
deck
and
your
then
stick.
Thanks.
you just feel a little bit of yourself crumble and wither.
Yeah.
And it's a great time. I mean,
Yes.
if you really want to watch us suffer it and run through a randomized version of the Ocarina of Time, it's a fantastic laugh.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, but that is going to be November 9th and 10th.
Yes, sorry, my
from
bad.
4 p.m. to 4 p.m. So again, catch us there. There's going to be there's a lot of Extra Life participants. If you can even tune in for 15 minutes and just say hello, that'd be great. But yeah, it's going to be a great time. Lots of our Otafest crew are going to be there. And this is redemption run, baby. Like, we're going to get that 100%. We're going to beat the randomizer. I'm going to go fish.
I believe in you.
It's going to happen.
And I
Catch
will
the
be
fish.
providing. I will be
Become the
providing baking
Codfather.
again, which will
I
be
am
amazing.
Codfather.
And just like last year, I believe we have a goal of $1,000 this year that we're trying to hit.
Yeah, $1,000, easy round number. The goal, because Extra Life is based in the U.S., is in American dollars, but you can donate in Canadian dollars, and it'll be totally fine.
Yep.
There's no, you won't be charged conversion fees.
And I think did we do milestones every $100 last time?
We have milestones, but we're not going to release that information yet because we're still tweaking it.
Okay.
But there will be some minor incentives. Some of it will be to help us move along and stuff. But again, nothing's set in stone yet. We're still just trying to figure everything out there.
Yeah, I was just trying to remember what happened last year. I know we had
punishments.
yeah, it was a punishment, but it was like if you reached this goal on your playthrough, the shift coming after you got punished for it.
Yeah, so it was kind of fun to basically watch the team coming in get slapped with not being able to use the hook shot or something like that.
Oh my
No,
god.
no. What was it? Why?
There was one that was no sword. I
No
thought that was
sword.
hilarious.
No magic was the one we got.
Yeah.
No Z-axis.
Yeah.
That one was hard.
Oh yeah, no Z targeting.
Yeah, no Z targeting.
Yeah.
That was weird.
So Canadian.
Right.
Another event coming up at the end of November. It's a local event. So Goro and Gun and Otafest are teaming up again to present a Koyo celebration, which is basically going to be autumn-themed Oden dinner and drinks as well. It's limited tickets, so you have to buy your reservation ticket online at otafest.com/Oden. That takes place on November 30th. Going to be staff there. There's going to be lots of your friends, I'm sure. There's TVs in the restaurant at Goro and Gun, so they'll usually put up anime and stuff while you watch and eat, and it's a really cool, fun way to kind of experience a traditional Japanese meal that isn't just sushi or ramen, which is great. Oden's pretty tasty if you've never had it before.
Oh goodness, I have a story about Oden. But yes, go on.
No, go ahead.
Oh, so earlier this summer, I got to go to Japan, and it was, in the summer in Japan, there's just tons of festivals going on. Pretty much any street by any kind of park or river or any sort of natural scenery, you'll see tons of food stalls, and they're always selling candied bananas on sticks or dumplings and there's almost always an Oden stall.
Mm-hmm.
And my first time having Oden was because a Japanese friend of mine said, "Oh, you have to try the Oden when you go." And I was like, "What is Oden again?" And she goes, "Oh, it's the fish cake stew with all the things,
Yeah,
and it's
sort
good
of like
and
hot
it's delicious."
pot-ish / stew-ish.
It's a stew though, it's hearty, it's delicious, and
Yeah.
they give it to you in this big bowl. And it's Japan, so you're not supposed to walk and eat at the same time. So you're expected to take a seat, a tiny little seat, and finish eating before you're allowed to leave. Clean up after yourself, obviously, be a good human being. But it was the tastiest thing. When we first showed up in Japan, it was like, "Oh, it's gonna be 15 degrees. It'll be great. It'll be traditional spring weather." I show up, it's 15, but I'm also not used to humidity because we're from Calgary, and I'm freezing my butt off, and I've got a hoodie and a jacket on, and I've got a scarf that I literally just picked up at Uniqlo because it was so cold, and I'm shivering, and this sweet little Japanese lady comes up and says, "Oden?" And I'm like, "Yes, please." And I scarf it down, and it is just the most body-warming experience.
Oh,
That's
And
sounds wonderful.
it's anytime it's cold here, it's always good to go for hot
Hot
pot,
pot.
ramen, pho.
Oh, Indian.
Just
any
Indian.
curry.
nice and warm
Yeah,
and filling.
stuff that's
Yeah,
warm.
and it has and if it's soupy in nature, stock it.
Oh, yeah.
You just drink
Stew.
it, and
Oh.
it just
It warms
fills
you up.
radiates.
It
Yeah.
just it's such a you feel yourself warming up from
Yeah.
the inside out.
And honestly, it's October right now, but it's already getting pretty cool. So I would definitely recommend anyone who's looking for a nice hot meal,
Something very
pick up an Odin ticket.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be, honestly, like, if you've never had it before, I would, like, why not, right? Like, expand your palate. Again, there is way more to Japanese food than
Just sushi and ramen.
just sushi and ramen and other noodle dishes or whatever. Like,
it's funny because a lot of the time I'll suggest going out for Japanese, and people are like, "Oh, but I don't like sushi." I'm like, "There's more to it than just sushi. There's more than
one of
just one type of food."
So I was just, actually, you know what? We're gonna put my thought on hold. Before we get any further, I actually want to do a quick intro of who you two are, just in case people haven't listened to your specific episodes that you've been on. What do you guys like? What do you do for Otafest? What do you do in general? Like, what are you up to? So,
I will preface this with I'm terrible at self-introduction, but I'll
Are you gonna do
my
it anyways?
best. So hi everyone, my name is Nancy. At Otafest, I have been a guest handler for I think as long as I've been with Otafest, and that's been a long time. Like, I think we
started having guests for the last 8 years. 8 or 9 years,
At
I want to
least
say.
then. And before that, I used to do a lot of things in the background.
As we all do.
As we all do. For, like, the karaoke contest and
Mhm.
doing like, pop idol stuff. And it's been a ride. I think not that long ago, a whole bunch of us went, "What's the oldest Otafest staff shirt you have?" And we went looking back. And oh man, just the memories.
2007 for me.
Something like that. I think it was 2000.
You've had one for like 2 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Eight. Anyway, I've been around for a long time.
Sure.
But I love it. That's why I keep coming back to it.
Mhm.
So, in a couple of the episodes I've appeared in for this podcast, we've talked a little bit about my voice acting career and how I got into it and my thoughts and feelings generally on the whole topic.
Mhm.
Yes, I do watch anime. A lot of it.
What a nerd!
What a nerd! I'm just a weeb. A
Yeah.
sweet little weeb. I love Japanese culture. You know, I look for any excuse to go back to Japan. The last time we came back from Japan, I think we both dropped a ton of weight just from all the walking. Like, we ate,
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
ate nonstop. We did not do I shouldn't have that. You know,
For
there's
sure.
too much sugar. No, there was none of that. It was, I see this thing, I want it. I'm gonna
Don't
eat
forget,
it.
you're on vacation, right?
And you're
Like,
on
screw-
vacation.
like, if you can't enjoy yourself, like, why are you going? That's not the point.
It's a time. Like, if you're gonna be in another country, you should definitely be trying all of the and Japan is so known for having like specifically dessert cafes where you go.
Screw it if you don't like everything. That's not the point. The point is, like, you're already here to broaden horizons. You did your best. You don't have to like everything. Even at home, you don't like everything.
Trying something
But
that you
try.
don't like is fun.
It is fun.
Because then you realize that you can shit talk it forever.
Exactly. Like,
Can't be opposers
this
forever.
has nothing to do with Japan. But one time, me and Dio bought a package of, like, Russian roulette jelly beans.
Oh no!
Where some of them are really good flavors, some of them are really bad flavors.
They're like literal earwax or like.
And we thought this
barf.
would be a really fun game. We were expecting like maybe a 1-to-1 ratio of good to bad, or maybe like 3 to good to every 1 bad. Just like actually make it a challenge.
Yeah,
and
for fun.
It was like 80% of them were the bad flavors.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know why though?
And they were really, really awful.
No, but you know why? That's how they sell the product, so they can just get rid of it. You know what I mean? They're like, this is
feel
crap. No one's gonna buy this normally. That's why we're just gonna
I would
stuff
never
them
buy
in
it again, I don't think. But if I, for whatever reason, did, I'd also buy a package of regular
just
jelly
to mix
beans
it.
Just to mix the two
Okay.
together
Just to
and be
dilute
like
it.
super evil.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, Angelo,
So
who are
don't-
you?
So don't mess with Angelo. Apparently.
Who am I?
Who are you?
Am you?
I want it to be known as your host that I, Angelo, am the big anime fan.
He's a big weeb.
You can't see him.
Behold my vast collection of bootleg anime, subbed and dubbed
And
for all tastes.
and your pink shirts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pink shirts. I gave you one.
Yeah, you did. Today
I
I'm
do.
wearing the
Mercy-
Overwatch Mercy breast cancer
breast
awareness.
Yeah. It's a good shirt.
Gorgeous.
It is a good shirt.
No, it's a gorgeous shirt.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. Secretly.
Angelo
on the inside.
is big. He knows the things about computers and he knows the things about animes.
Yes, and nothing else.
That is
nothing
your
else
life.
at all.
That's not true. You know how to make pizza?
Damn right I do.
I've had your pizza.
I make a damn good pizza.
What else do I know about Angelo that I can say on air?
Good question. Let me just interject with a mental filter.
He's a good guy.
I'm a good guy.
Yeah. What do you kind of you're sort of in a limited capacity at Otafest because I know like
for Otafest I don't do much.
You say that.
Basically, I do podcast, and on the day of, whenever someone needs me, they just grab me and I do whatever.
Which is honestly, it's an important resource.
Like being a gopher like that is just like go for this, go for that.
Yep.
But
no,
I mean,
I've done this.
Yeah, you keep busy, but you also like it's a way to do a lot of different things. Like you're not just assigned to like you're only at info booth or you're only doing admissions.
Line control.
Line control, right? So
good
it's kind
God,
of,
I think line control is something I would actively avoid.
I think you've helped us with some of our video gaming tournament stuff.
A little bit,
right?
Inventory as well is one thing that you just show up in the room and start counting things at the end.
I've asked you to go get me honeyed water before because I was supposed to do a panel and I just really, really had a bad like tickle cough in my throat and I just needed something. And you were like, I can go get that for you, and then you just suddenly showed up.
That's the good guy.
You had like an extra large cup of green tea with like 3 packets of honey that you gave me.
Damn.
And while I
don't remember this.
While I was doing this, I'm slowly drizzling all this honey because they come in packets of liquid honey, and people are just watching me talk for a panel while I'm doing this. And later on, someone in the audience actually came up with questions after the panel. I was like, "You like a lot of honey in your tea," and I'm like,
"You shut up." You shut up.
And I
you like to walk on thin ice.
I laugh because to this day, they still remember that
That's
about
funny.
me. It is the weirdest thing.
Here's your tea with 6 honeys.
It's like, yeah.
My excuse is that I was sick and I had a cough. But,
yeah.
I mean, that really goes to show what kind of audience we have at Otafest. Like, we have so many people who come back year after year after year. And I see the same regular faces all the time, and it's always so good to see them.
Oh yeah, like it's one of those. It's a weird thing. I'm like not exactly proud of this fact in a sense, but not in a bad way. I've been with Otafest for I don't know, like 13 years. I want to say maybe longer, which is like a significant portion of my life because I'm not quite that old, and it's just like the idea that. I don't really think of myself as I put myself out there. Like, yeah, I understand I'm doing a podcast right now, but it's not like I really want to put my face on stuff or I really want to be on stage and doing stuff. I get, asked to do these things and I'm like, for the sake of entertainment, sure, why not? Like, it's fun, right? But there are a lot of, like, you never realize how many people recognize you and like, hey, like, aren't you from that thing? Like, you do the thing. I'm like, yeah, like, I guess like it's always a little bit awkward for me because you're not looking to be like
recognized?
A personality.
Yeah.
No. But you're just kind of like, hey, like people remember the things that you've hosted and they remember like the things that you've done.
It's fun. It's fun to run into people year after year.
Yeah.
Like when
totally.
me and Dio were still doing Foul Bachelor Frog Bingo.
Oh God.
I remember the first year we ran into this Light and Misa cosplayer couple.
Yeah.
And they were raunchy. I won't get into it. By the next time we hosted the panel, the Light cosplayer showed up and they weren't dating anymore.
Oh.
And then by the third panel, Light cosplayer showed up again with a new girlfriend, and she was just finding out all this dirty shit about him at the panel. It was great.
Wow.
I like this continuity because it's like there's a year's hiatus in between. So like you have no idea what happens to them in this whole time, but then they come back and they're like you slowly watch them grow year after
Watching
year.
them
it's like
grow as disgusting
like,
people.
Like they come the one year they have like a baby. You're like, what? Right?
And I mean,
it's a thing that
it's
could
not
happen.
even just the attendees. Like, a lot of the Otafest staff have gone through the phases of being a teenager and then being
I'm
like
still
a young
a teenager.
adult and then being an adult
still a
with
teenager.
a family.
No, still a teenager.
Just
Shout
because
out.
I'm a 30-year-old doesn't mean I won't act like a 3-year-old.
I am not an adult. It's not a thing. I pretend I am, but I am not.
Yeah.
I am not a grown-up.
If you're not an adult, if you're not a grown-up, Nancy, I'm so far behind.
You know
it makes
how,
me like so sad.
Jay, you know how some people they like to eat their feelings? Like if they're just if they're happy, they celebrate by eating something. If they're sad, they
Yeah, that's why
they
I'm fat.
Same.
I have a weirder problem. I bake my feelings. If I'm having,
I mean,
like,
it's legal now,
the
so
worst.
that's okay.
Wow, did not see that coming.
You feel it.
No, continuity. Sorry, where was I? Yeah, if I've been having, like, the worst week,
Yeah.
I come home and the first thing I do is I'm making banana bread. I'm making it now. I'm gonna bake it. I'm not gonna eat any of it, but I'm gonna bake this. And then I'm gonna bring it around to everybody else so that they can eat my feelings for me.
Nice.
I mean, that's nice. That's really charitable. I want to say one thing about banana bread. I've never cared for it.
You don't have to.
Are
I
you
can make
insane?
so many other things.
It's weird. I'll have bread.
and
like
you like
bread.
bananas.
And I like bananas. I love bananas.
Do you like bananas
Don't
on bread?
put them together. I will have like a PB
Peanut butter banana
PB
sandwich?
Banana, yeah. I'll have that.
What?
But I don't
What?
like.
Have you never had one?
Have you? Wait.
Wait,
is
have
it
you not
because-
had that sandwich?
No, I have. But
I don't like the.
but-
Yeah, I don't like the baked.
So you're
items
not
together.
complaining about the sandwich.
But is it
But-
because the banana's baked?
I just think it's kind of like it just smells like it has like that overripe banana smell the whole time. I
You
also
don't
like,
like
but the other
ripe
thing is, I also like my
bananas?
bananas. I like my bananas on the like
Greener
not
side?
not green obviously, but,
But
like
less ripe.
literally if it has like a little stripe of green, that makes me super happy.
You like
I
that
the
woody
firmness.
flavor?
No, I don't like the woody flavor. I like the firmness.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
was
I
just-
don't like them when they're too mushy either. But like
Yeah.
with banana bread, it's not a problem because you're not
banana
feeling
breads
the
are.
texture of banana. You're getting
No,
the flavor of
but
banana with the texture of
I
bread.
think
It's
that
fantastic.
It's because banana bread is almost always made with like old bananas, so
Yeah,
it's
you're
always
just-
gonna have that pungentness.
But it has to be
Pungency?
because otherwise bananas aren't sweet enough.
Yeah.
They need to be ripe to be sweet.
Yeah, well, still don't like
Like you
'em.
wait until you wouldn't actually eat them, and then
mean-
you throw them in the freezer for 5 years, and then you make banana bread for like 2
See, I
weeks.
don't like any of that.
Traditionally, I just bake other things to bring for gatherings, like cinnamon pull-apart bread, or pie, or I'll try and make little, what are those called? Macarons.
I suck at
Nice.
all forms of baking. Well, that's not true. I just don't bake in general, so I can't really say. But
Can you follow instructions?
I don't want to.
Well, that's probably why.
I like cooking because it's improvisational. Like I cook pretty
Sifting
well.
the
but-
flour, ain't no one got time for that shit.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna
Pow.
pack it in and pow.
Yeah, I've messed up
Oh,
cookies
boy.
before because I really just don't pay attention.
So,
well,
so that's
'cause I just
why
don't care.
then, because like baking is like following a chemist's instructions.
Yeah, I don't want math. I want art.
Yeah, you probably don't want to bake.
Yeah.
Then.
See?
Maybe I should just bake things and then you can do like the icing.
Oh, I'll do that.
Yeah, you can do the icing.
That sounds fun.
We can make cookies.
I wanted to go back to the Japan, the Odin food.
Oh,
like
then.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I had, so I was in Japan. Angela's the only one who hasn't been to Japan so far.
I have never
Gasp.
been off, aside from Canada and the U.S.
I
Only
have to
countries
say,
I've been to.
I kind of say that.
I've never been off this continent.
I think that
What the
kinda makes
fuck
you
am I doing with
more-
my life?
Of
I
a
think
weeb.
that makes you more of a weeb, not
Yeah,
less.
it actually
Because you haven't actually been to Japan yet.
But you
You're
love
just
it.
kind of like, yeah, like you're more of a weeb.
Do you want to know the most weeb thing that I could possibly say?
Other than like Omoe wa Motionder.
Everything I know about the Sengoku era of Japan,
Oh
I learned
no.
through anime.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Wow.
And if I just take blank or broad generalizations, I should say, I'm mostly right.
I know. I mean, I know people who learn Japanese basically through anime, like literally.
Having that said,
Ah,
I would
that's
never
me.
say that I actually.
Oh, that's me.
am
I learned
Japanese or
so
anything.
no,
much
hell
conversational
no,
Japanese.
good
that
God,
way.
no.
Yeah.
But I would never say that. Oh yeah, I'm an expert on Sengoku era
No,
history.
no.
Let me just tell you about the exploits of my
Well,
girl.
no,
Oda
you're
Nobunaga.
missing. You're making. You're not saying the right thing. It's well, actually.
Well, actually.
I'm the only one wearing glasses.
Yeah,
That makes
you
me sad.
are. It's okay.
Sorry.
I'm almost on my way back to having glasses because I'm pretty sure that laser eye surgery is wearing off now.
Oh no! Just get more lasers.
Yeah, get Malaysia.
Get more lasers now.
Get
No,
Malaysia.
it's one of
I'm
those
a
things where it's like,
charging my laser.
If my vision degrades further, I'll just go back to contacts and suffering in the harsh, dry
I don't know.
climate
I like
that's Alberta.
glasses.
I can't wear glasses.
I believe in you. You can. You have
I
two ears
believe
and a
in-
nose.
I believe in you that believes in me that believes in you.
That can wear glasses.
That can
yes.
wear glasses.
Anyway, Japan.
Japan.
Traditional food. The one thing I didn't actually get to try that many new things in Japan, but I've also had like a lot of Japanese food anyways.
Yeah.
But one thing I've tried, it was in Tokyo Station. It's the only place I found it. It was Ochizuke.
Oh.
Ochizuke is like this. Oh, Ochazuke.
Ochazuke.
Yeah, which is like it's sort of like a Donburi sort of like a Donburi is like
It is a
like
rice
a
bowl.
meal contained within a bowl
It is a rice
is the translation.
But
And usually like rice bowl, so you'll have like fish or meat or grilled whatever,
yes.
which is amazing on its own.
And
But then like the
then-
preparation is that you have like black tea that you can pour into it, and it changes the
Oh.
texture. And like normally you're like, yeah, I've had fucking Earl Grey and like and Wheaties. Why would I ever put Earl Grey in my Wheaties or something, right? But it's like I don't know, like you don't have to pour the whole thing of tea into the bowl. You get like two sizes of bowls as well, like where you have one that actually contains the food and one that's just empty. So you can put some of like the food from the bowl just aside to put the tea in, so you can change the texture of that. You don't have to mix any of it at all. But if you do mix it, it goes really well together. I would super recommend it for anyone who
Nice.
goes to Tokyo Station, which is probably a lot of people. I'm sure that it's a traditional food, so of course you can find it outside of Tokyo Station. But it's traditional in the sense that kind of if that area is maybe not known for it, you might not be able to find it. But in a single metropolitan major transit network area, you can find that. I would super recommend it. I had a fantastic time.
If you happen to be at the airport and you're leaving
Which airport?
Japan, Narita or even
Well, it's either Haneda or Narita.
So
But
at
like one of the
Narita-
two is better than the other.
it's hard
Haneda
to
is
say.
better.
Haneda is interesting because it's like being in an amusement park that happens to be an airport.
It has a lot of food.
Yeah, it does. But either one, actually, if you happen to be coming back and you realize to yourself, shit, I forgot to try Ochazuke, you can actually get it. That was
Oh, I wouldn't be
where-
surprised, yeah.
that was where a friend of mine tried his the first time. He didn't particularly care about it, but like I understand the general concept of it is because in Japan food has many qualities about it that are symbolic, and texture is one of those things that is supposed to be symbolic of change. So that's what like adding the
Sure.
tea to it is supposed to be. It's like, it's like a changing of time. It is a changing
mean,
of a season. It's
All I know is it was delicious.
it
None
was,
of my Japanese friends told me it is the changing of time. They
oh
said,
no.
put the tea in the food. And I was just like, all right.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I guess this is what we're gonna do here now.
It is, well, Japanese traditional
Food.
culinary, like it's like a UNESCO heritage thing. Like traditional food.
Yeah,
is,
but I mean, I'm also happy to be like a total pleb and just be like, I don't know what you want me to do and why that means. I just mean, but if you want me to put it in my mouth, I'll do it. Like,
you're
like-
a good tourist.
but that's the thing. I fully admit to being a tourist. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
try. I'm not gonna try
What
to
else
be like.
does the tea go on? Can I put it on a
more
Big Mac?
No, but if you could put it on a Moss burger, I'm sure. What? Yeah, Moss burger.
Ew.
A
Moss
Moss
burger?
burger?
So it's not a burger made of moss. It's like it's one of their brands
Oh, okay.
of burger chain. You never went?
No.
Moss burger spelled like MOS, I think.
Moss
burger.
Mosburger.
Moss burger.
Now I need to look this
Is
up.
like
Mosburger.
their own little international chain. I think they have some places like in Oceania and stuff too. And they have like it's not really like ground beef patties, but they'll have like pork patties, they'll have like fish patties and stuff like that.
Sounds like a good time.
I
Oh
did
my
not
goodness,
like the
you're
idea
right.
of them. Bayfar had one, he didn't like it. I didn't like the look of it, so I did not go for it. I don't regret it because honestly there's so many other foods, but I thought about having it, but just none of them actually looked appealing, and if it doesn't look appealing, it's kind of hard to get in because there's so many other varieties of food that you can get like surrounding you in every food court.
So you're
every
saying, as
food
they were
stall.
serving it, the burgers weren't worth it.
Yeah, I think so. Like,
But what
from
if
what
they
I could
put
see on
tea
the
on
menu.
them?
Well then, no. Hold on, no. Yeah, but like to the tourism thing, like man, I don't care that I don't care that like I look Asian and they might like come up to you and be like, oh, you're Japanese, and like think you're Asian or like Japanese or whatever, and I'm like, no, I'm tourist. Like there's like in Akiba, there's like all the ladies in the maid cafes.
Ah,
and,
yes.
Yeah, and they're gonna be
Yes.
like like they're trying to get you to come into their maid cafe or whatever. I don't want to go to the maid cafe. I have other reasons for not wanting to go. I'm good without, and that's literally I'd be like they'd have the little paper handouts and they'd be like, oh, they go okay, and I'd be like, no, I am a tourist and I do not care
for your feminine wiles
things.
for your things.
Yeah, for your cultural misappropriations.
So, speaking of being in Akiba, I actually went all around to a bunch of different card shops to try and find
Card shops.
the deck that my character in Cardfight Vanguard plays.
Oh.
And funny enough, had I done this the year before, I would have been able to get everything in a deck that someone had already assembled.
Okay.
But because I went this year, all those cards were gone, even from the second.
But what do you mean? Why were they gone?
Because people
they're
had all
not
bought them
new
and they were out of
anymore.
print.
It doesn't matter. In Akiba, there's half the stores are consignment stores.
I know.
So
And
how could you not find something old?
they were just gone.
That doesn't make any sense to
It
me
was
at
just-
all.
Well, maybe were you able to find some that were just stupid expensive?
No.
Like
no
someone
one
tried
had
to
it.
sell a
Like,
Charizard for $150?
I specifically went up to one of the card shops and I in very broken Japanese tried to explain what I was looking for, and then they're like,
Watashi wa seiyu desu. Eigo
It
seiyu
went
desu.
something like that. But also, I was asking for that character's specific deck because
Yeah.
I wanted to find the deck of cards that my
That matched your character, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I just want to buy it so I can keep it, and it would be
Uh-huh.
my little keepsake of having been on the show. And they tried. They were they spent 20 minutes looking through the
Japanese staff.
inventory and looking at every possible computer system that they could have looked at, and they were just like, we are so sorry, we can't find it for you. Maybe, and then they gave me a list of other consignment stores to go to, and I was like, thank you.
No, Japanese staff are stupidly helpful.
They're so helpful.
I was looking for a couple of I didn't really think I was gonna go shopping, but I ended up falling into a Pokemon hellhole.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
no.
I found I started looking for some older merch that I was specifically interested in.
Uh-huh.
I had no intent going into Akiba doing that, and then I saw some stuff. I was just like, oh, this would be nice. Ah, crap. Right? And
Crud.
yeah, and then I was just like, oh, hey, I went to Kotobukiya, and it's a sort of multi-level store. The first level is Final Fantasy stuff, and
Uh-huh.
the sixth floor is body pills.
Wow, they put it all in the 6th floor?
Yeah,
Some of the ones I went to were on the 1st floor.
yeah, but that's a different kind of store entirely. Not just merchandise.
No.
So I went into a store like that, and I was just like, hey, I don't know if you have anything. I see some Pokemon stuff. The first thing I'd always ask is do you speak any English? And in Japanese, I wasn't gonna be like, yo, you know English? But I'd be anyway, eigo wa hanashimasu ka?
No, eigo de ii desu ka?
Nah, that works too. But they'd always be like, oh, choto, just a little bit or whatever, and I'd just be like, good enough. Hey, can you help me find Pokemon stuff? And they're like, oh, Pokemon stuff, yeah, whatever. But in some stores, they would literally if I was asking, they'd be they'd pull out a map of the area,
Yes.
a tourist map.
Yes.
And they would
they
literally
mark off
the
different
every other
stores
places
for you.
Yeah, they did
It's-
not care that it was a competitor that I was asking
Oh,
for.
no.
They didn't care about anything. They were just oh yeah, you could probably just go there or whatever.
But they have a surprisingly good eye for everyone else's inventory. They're just oh, that's what
Oh,
you're
yeah.
looking for? Go down the street and then go to the 4th door on
Yeah.
your left, and you're just how did you know they would even
I-
have it? They're just they all know.
Yeah, honestly, like I said, when going into Japan, I didn't think I was gonna be looking for any merchandise or whatever. But I left with some stuff. I really don't collect a bunch of things, but the way that they're so accessible about how you can find stuff. The retro gaming stores, dude, is just the best thing. It's a
I
version of
feel
heaven for me.
whenever I go, I'm going to have to bring a second suitcase just to bring
You're
stuff.
gonna
Yes.
bring that second.
Yes,
well, don't
you
bring a second
will.
suitcase. Just buy a second suitcase while
Yeah.
you're there. First of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, bring a couple grand.
Yeah.
It's not that it's necessarily expensive, but
No.
you're
I could
gonna want.
replace my car, or I could buy my weeaboo dreams.
You just want. But you could. You can buy your weeaboo dreams.
Yeah.
Like,
you
you can buy a car at any time.
You could buy
Okay.
the 2-foot large Tachikoma that I saw.
Let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. Like the in terms of like, because I'm more into like retro stuff, because I guess I'm getting older and nostalgia is a big thing. But like, you think that like first generation console stuff isn't that like it wouldn't be as accessible? No, extremely accessible.
First generation? Are we talking
condition.
like Atari or?
Fantastic.
So
in
I was looking
television,
for
or are you
Pokemon
talking NES
stuff. I was looking for Pokemon stuff. So
first
Game Boy.
gen Pokemon. Okay.
So first gen, but first gen like handheld, for example. So they're talking about like brick Game Boy stuff. They're most of the time it's used in impeccable condition.
So good.
Like fantastic.
Like if you
can put it in the game and you'll be able to play because they replace the batteries on in the
totally.
game cartridges.
Oh, they totally do.
I found Pokemon like Japanese Pocket Monsters, red, yellow, blue, and green.
Damn.
And
like you have to actually get a Game Boy, since weren't those region locked?
Oh, I'm not playing them. I'm just collecting them.
Ah, okay.
This isn't the only thing that they're known for having, like very niche.
Well, yes,
perfectly...
they do have tentacles.
Yeah, I guess, but like, I went into a photography shop, and they had classic, beautifully maintained cameras from like the 60s.
Yeah, they just
and they're not like cheap because they haven't been beaten up and they haven't been like mishandled. And like these are people who.
But the way Japanese
very
culture
carefully took care of their belongings, and then they consigned them, and they're in such good shape.
Yes,
you could just like buy it, take it outside, and just start snapping away.
If we go to any consignment store, any like used goods store in Calgary, for example, like no offense to them, used engagement ring. Like no offense to like some of the secondhand game stores in Calgary. It's not that they don't have any variety, they don't have any quality or whatever. It's not really their fault that our society treats our used crap like crap.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Japanese society, like, dude, like I'll after the podcast, I will show you some of the stuff I have. It looks new.
Yep.
Like it's not even a joke.
Oh,
and like, but it's original box and stuff like that. And like, I think it's been opened. I think it's been played. I don't care. Like because it looks.
I've gotten a few used figures off of AmiAmi.
Yeah.
And like they're used. They say so right on the page.
Yeah.
And apparently there's different grades of used, and it's like, whatever. Everyone I've bought, it's like
amazing, right?
You said it was used, but like.
Oh no! It's because one time the guy breathed on it with both nostrils. Right onto the thing. Didn't wear the face mask. They always, really, really lowered the quality. Like lost 150,000 yen on that one.
Just ruined.
So.
Secondhand stores in Japan are actually very prevalent. Like I don't think there was an area of Tokyo that I was in that didn't have like a book off.
Yeah.
Or any other like secondhand
stores
shop. And they're always in amazing shape.
Yeah. I would super recommend. It's one of those things that I think people never bring up. People always say like, "Go for the food. Go see Giant Gundam. Go
buy secondhand goods.
Whatever. Check out their consignment stuff.
Oh,
you will have an amazing time. It has the best variety. There's some really creepy stuff.
Oh yeah.
that I would never want to buy secondhand.
But
they do have it, and it does look pristine. I still don't trust it.
What's the creepiest, most pristine thing that you saw there? That's super creepy and would haunt your dreams.
I can't talk about
that.
Wow, that must have been super creepy.
Everything, but it has everything to do with like sexual in nature. Obviously.
Pretty R-rated stuff.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, let's
move
on.
But in consignments, they are in consignment stores.
Yeah,
it's really weird to see them in consignment stores. I guess like the most PG thing I could probably say is there's like Opie mouse pads.
Oh yeah.
I don't recommend buying a secondhand Opie mouse pad, right? But you get the idea. So
yeah.
I want to say that I think we're actually coming up on time for our first return, season 5.
This has been Otafest Podcast, episode 69.
Wait.
So close.
So close.
It doesn't even matter.
No. Thank you so much for listening as usual. We really appreciate all your support. We've got a lot of things coming up for you in the future. We've got some announcements coming up. Can't talk about them until we actually make them.
You can't announce the things until you announce them?
No, I can't. This is the part where I just redact everything as we talk. And yeah, we've got Extra Life coming up. We have
Goro and Gun.
Goro and Gun.
Goro and
partnership.
Gun on November 30th.
Yep.
So I want to see you guys all there. But until then, we still have more Otafest podcast episodes to record and push out for you guys and keep you up to date on anything new happening, maybe in our lives, maybe in the community. There's some stuff I'd love to touch on pretty soon here, so we will do just that. Thank you again for listening. Thank you, Nancy and Angelo.
Thank you, Jay.
It's good to be here.
Thanks, Alfred, as well, because he did make the podcast happen. For 4
Godspeed,
seasons.
Alfred.
Yep. Thanks, Alfred. Your spirit lives
Godspeed.
on.
All right. You can find us Google Music, iTunes, YouTube,
Spotify.
and Spotify. So we'll talk to you later, I guess. Thanks.
Set